Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. And welcome to today's trying to see if it works. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. For those that are watching, welcome to Shays Wellness Club Q&A. How's everyone's Sunday going? How is everyone's Sunday? Um Where's water? Welcome to today's episode of Shays Wellness Club Q&A. I'm here letting people know about this thing called wellness and being consistent in our journey. Um, so today's topic is about self-care and balance, putting yourself first without the guilt. A lot of us, especially us women, realize or sometimes feel guilty about putting ourselves first. But putting ourselves first helps us become our best selves. Putting ourselves first when it comes to nutrition helps us achieve our best self as well. Because your wellness sets the tone for everyone you love. So having a consistent and dedicated self-care routine definitely helps with staying on top of things. Um, for those that don't know, hi, I'm Shay, your weight loss and accountability strategist and bestie. And I'm here to help you lose weight naturally, one day at a time, one consistent, one small step, one small step at a time. Tonight, we're filling our cups first, guilt free, meaning how self care is so important as we go through this journey in our wellness. I'm going to try to get through today. You can't pour from an empty cup, as we all know. And when people say that, it really means that you can't put your all into someone else without putting your all to yourself first. So that means also you can't give your all to your kids if you can't give your all to yourself. So that's why I make sure that these days are self-care. That's why I fuel the Sundays for self-care and reset. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. How's everyone doing? I can't tell if anyone's comments. Make sure comments are turned on. Make sure I show the comments on the stage. I don't like these. I don't like this. I had these like slides and they suck. Like, sorry, y'all. Let me see if I can do something better. I hate not being prepared. It's just I'm probably gonna have to change my pickup days. I don't know. I gotta do something different. Um, so I just closed out all my stuff, and it's like, and of course, you guys don't care. You don't need to care. Um, what do you guys want to talk about today? I haven't gotten any questions in a minute. I'm not much of going to the gym in the evening, but I really feel like I need to go to the gym or something. I just don't feel. I feel very irritated. But hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's live. Um, we're gonna talk about a few things. Since it's Sunday, we're gonna touch on being reset for Sundays, how to prep your week for the wellness wins that I know you guys can achieve. So Sundays, I really try to put towards focus, meal prep, mindset, scheduling. So that's why it's very important for Sundays we prepare ourselves for the week. That's why I try to hold these or wellness resets on Sunday, because then you will have a more of a put together plan on what you can do for the week. So, how prepping your meals and workouts help reduce everyday stress. When you know what you're going to eat for the week, it helps a lot with stress on what to eat. When we're stressed on not knowing what we're eating, um, it not helps us. It makes us binge eat, and it makes us just get something quick, right? So preparing our meals for the week is really ideal to help. Excuse me. It's really ideal to help with taking that stress out of your routine. The less you have to think about things, the better. I my personal Sunday prep ritual give me 3 easy steps um, that I like to do that you could do for yourself for this Sunday. One, prep or plan on what meals you're going to eat for this week. First step, what am I eating tomorrow? Okay. So, what am I going to eat for breakfast? Is it going to be a hearty breakfast? Is when am I going to eat? Am I going to fast this week? If you haven't already, I would love to challenge everyone watching this to look into um, fasting. And fasting, all it really is, and if you need help with understanding what fasting is, I do have an ebook available. I do have an ebook available on that. Um, but basically, meal prepping is really not meal prepping. Fasting is basically just skipping breakfast. You're breaking your fast. So we're gonna eat our lunch and preparing our meals for the week. For instance, I meal prep today and for a client, and they had a salmon meal prep. So I did 10 different meals incorporated with salmon. So your same meal doesn't always have to be the same. A big help that a big thing that helped me, because you can meal prep your meals in multiple different ways. Two ways in particular I do it, either like I did today, where you cook one or two meats, two, three sides, and that way you can switch them out in your meal prepped containers. That way you don't feel like you're eating the same thing all day, all week. Another way that I tend to meal prep for me and my husband is I tend to take a pan of meat, whether, take one or two meats, put it in a pan, cook it and put it in a pan. Take your sides and put it in different compartments. So, like, say if I have three sides, I have three containers full of sides. So when I take my plate and go to the fridge, I just make my meals different incorporations. So if I go to lunch, here's my salmon with my rice with my veggies. And then when I come back for dinner, I have my salmon bites with my salad and my this and that. So you can definitely do meal preps different ways, whichever works best for you. Um, let's see. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. And feel free to ask me any questions you may would like me to answer. So meal prepping can be done in multiple ways, and it doesn't have to be all for a week's worth. Meal prepping can be 3 days out. If because 7 days can be a hit or miss sometimes. I don't even do my meal prep 7 days, a full 7 days, because you just never know when food may go bad. You know, so if you're someone that's intimidated by like 7 meals, 6 meals, 5 meals, try 3 days out. Just cook enough for 3 days for you and your family, or for you, you and your husband, or just yourself. Just cook enough for 3 days. 3 days are up, cook for another 3 days. With that, at least you're cooking at home. Our plan is to get used to cooking at home. Home cooked meals are a lot better than going out to eat all the time. One, it does save you money despite what they say. And you lose weight from just home cooked meals. One big tip that I always make sure that people know: baking your meats. Baking your meats are very important, and can be the game changer that you need in order to see success in your weight loss journey. Once I start baking my meats, regardless of what kind of meat it is, even if you're eating pork and beef, I don't particularly eat pork and beef anymore. But if you're someone that, still eats pork and beef, which is fine, bake it. A lot of us in our shrimp, a lot of people are only used to frying shrimp. There's other ways to cook that you can eat a lot of different ways if you prioritize baking instead of frying. I air fried today some salmon bites, and I forgot how good salmon bites are in the air fryer. I need to use my air fryer more. So if you do fry, I suggest air frying, especially if you use the right oil. Using the right oil is very ideal for when you're cooking delicious whole meals. I always suggest extra virgin olive oil is always my go-to. And of course, grapeseed oil is good, coconut oil is good. Um, no vegetable oil, No canola oil, no Crisco oil, none of that stuff. Um, it's just less processed. Vegetable oil is processed because it has to be created instead of pressed, if that makes sense. Extra virgin or olive oil in general has to be pressed from the actual olive for it to be created. Vegetable oils have to be processed in order to make vegetable oil, if that makes it all sense. Um, or does that make sense? Um, Personal Sunday is very important. Challenge, and if you can, comment below and share one thing that you're prepping for this week. Tell me what's your favorite thing to cook. Let me know in the comments. What is your favorite thing to cook? My favorite thing to cook is salmon and rice. Um, Stuffed peppers are delicious, and I've actually started to enjoy turkey meatloaf again. I love a good turkey meatloaf. Um, it was something else that I liked to eat. I do like pastas and stuff, but I try to stay away from the pastas, especially creamy um, sauces and stuff of that nature. You know, if you need help prepping your meals, grab prepped and ready. Send me the message meals or food. And for joining or listening to this live, you get a complimentary um, recipes recipe book where I can where a lot of my favorite recipes of STL Green Eats are in there, which is a total great game changer because um, all it takes is a simple mindset shift of how we eat is going to be ideal for weight loss journey. I've lost over 60 pounds naturally just from being consistent with how I eat. Accountability advantage. Why you can't do it alone. This is not a one-time thing. Um, Being able to being consistent with this is important, but you're gonna need an accountability bestie, such as myself, that will help you through this journey. Um, just to hold you accountable. It's always good to have someone to hold you accountable, to have a support system, and staying consistent so you could track your progress. And how accountability accelerates results is so important. Um, the difference between motivation and discipline it's very big difference between motivation and discipline. Discipline is what stays when motivation isn't there. So it's important that you we make sure we have discipline over motivation. Okay. Um, if you can, let me know of your biggest accountability struggle. Like, are you someone that needs more accountability, or you need some more meals created for you, or do you need just recipes in general? Because once I realized in my journey that I just didn't know how to cook healthier meals, that helped me a lot in my journey once I figured out, oh, baking. Okay. I could bake my meats instead of frying them. I can change the oils that I eat. It all affects the overall thing. How we eat affects how our skin looks, how much energy we have, how well we're able to move around, um, our mood in general, you know? And it's very important that we become more and more consistent with our meal planning. That's why I prioritize Sundays as our reset day, not only just for our meals, but to just reset from the week. If we had a bad week last week, we're going to go into a better mindset with a better week this week coming up. And it's all a part of mindset shifting. Now, I want for anyone watching this or the replay to find one accountability partner. Even if it's not me, but I'm here, your accountability bestie. But if find one person that is going to be there for you, that's going to hold you accountable. It's going to be very important in your journey to weight loss. Or if you were like me and don't have anyone to hold you accountable, well, what I always say is to take a picture of your biggest self or smallest self. And we gotta get real serious about taking our pictures, especially at our biggest, or go back to the picture where you were like, girl, I don't like that, but I don't even want to post it. If you don't want to post that picture because you don't like how big you are, how your back looks, how your arms look in a photo, put that as your screensaver. And that's going to be your motivation and your accountability partner right there in your pocket. Um, so I wanted to let you guys know of a fat loss me my 3-part formula for the a successful um, fat loss meal. Um, these meals you have to focus on balance and mindful eating. If you stick to being mindful of how you eat and balance, is going to make all the difference. Now, when I say balance, I mean you can have carbs on your plate. You can have it's actually carbs are actually good for you. It's that we overindulge in carbs. When we have pasta, we don't have the recommended amount of pasta. We have an extra 2 scoops, extra 3 scoops. We go for seconds, and that's what makes the carbs overdone. Okay, so having meal balance and mindful eating. Mindful eating meaning maybe instead of pork, I'm going to try turkey. Maybe instead of pork, I'm going to try some chicken breast. Instead of frying this chicken wing, I'm going to bake some chicken wings. People love my baked chicken wings. That's actually one of my number one most requested of STL Green Eats are my baked chicken wings. They look like they're fried, but they are juicy like if you baked them. If that makes sense. Um, how to build a fat loss plate. Okay. If you want the gems on how to, thanks for joining, Jilly. For a awesome fat loss plate. That means if you're consistent with eating this type of plate, that is going to be your road to weight loss. You're going to need protein, veggies, and smart carbs. Okay. So you want to make sure you have a protein. That's why I make sure when for my STL Green Eats clients, I always ask first, what is your protein of choice? Um, Salmon, and I do not cook beef or pork at all in my meal preps. My slogan is you're not gonna even miss it. And most people don't. My proteins are salmon, which is my highest selling protein, are my salmon dishes. Chicken, I can do chicken breast or chicken wings or chicken thighs, whichever kind of chicken you like. I ask what kind of chicken do you like, and if you're someone that orders every week, we can switch it up if you like. So we do salmon, chicken, turkey, and vegetarian. So out of those, we picked our protein. So protein, salmon, veggies. You can't go wrong with veggies. There are a plethora of different veggies you could choose from. You don't have to like every veggie. You don't have to, you don't need all veggies. You know what I mean? You could switch it up. This week you could have broccoli and mind you, broccoli is man-made. If people didn't know that, broccoli is man-made. So I don't suggest broccoli most of the time, but spinach, greens, chards, Um, you know, proteins. Also, a lot of things are proteins that are plant based as well. Like chickpea is a protein. Um, things of that nature. But anyways, so protein, salmon. Make sure you find at least 2 or 3 veggies that you love that you could put in rotation and work your way up from there. If you're someone that likes to go to the grocery store, start in the produce section. That's always my number one tip when going grocery shopping. Going grocery shopping, I always suggest to either start with the most expensive item, which is your protein, or start in the produce section. Don't start with the bread. Don't start with getting your sauces. Don't start with getting pickles and chips and stuff like that. That's going to mess you up, especially if you're on budget. If you're someone that budgets, if you're someone that goes to the grocery store and budgets like me, and I still take what is it called? I still take calculator with me. That's the best way to budget. Bring a calculator or your last receipt, depending on how often you get those items, so you can notice the influx or decrease in food prices. But start with your most expensive, which is your protein, and then go to your produce. By the time you finish getting your produce and your protein, you know how much money left you have to work with. Once you do that, you're like, oh, okay, well, and then a smart carb. So make sure that smart carbs are like, so say bread. If you're gonna buy bread, try seeded bread, whole grain bread. Okay. Ezekiel bread, I heard, is really, really good. Flourless bread, stuff like that. Smart carbs. There is also, instead of regular pasta, there's wheat pasta. I like wheat pasta. It cooks a little faster, so it's a little bit of difference. But wheat pasta is a good smart carb. Common mistakes: try not to undereat or skip meals. Now, when I say that, sometimes when we deprive ourselves from food, once we see food, we go overboard. So if you're someone like that, and I've definitely done that as well, to be mindful of that. Um, if you're gonna skip a meal, skip breakfast, and there you go. You just fasted for 16 hours. That's fasting. Skipping breakfast and going straight to lunch. So say you stop eating, and it really does help when you stop eating. If you stop eating past 7, you are in a gold. Okay. But I try not to eat past, 'cause sometimes I cook late. So cut yourself off at a certain time when it comes to eating. So if try to cut yourself off between 7, 10 p.m. You definitely shouldn't be eating past 9. So say you cut yourself off eating at 9, you don't eat again till 12, 1 o'clock. That's about over 16 hours that you didn't eat anything. It's actually really good to be on an empty stomach sometimes. Now, if you're someone that goes to the gym, this all that's it depends on your metabolism and stuff like that. And also that this video is fair use only and is not be considered professional advice. I'm just someone that's lost 60 pounds and telling you guys how I did it. Me, I work out on an empty stomach. But I'm not gonna lie, I've noticed more of a difference when I ate more every day instead of less. When I used to eat 5 times a day, I was never hungry and my metabolism was good. Better. I'll say good. It was better. But hey. But those are common mistakes. I wonder, could I could. I should have been able to show you guys a prep I did today, but I did do a full meal prep today. And if you're watching this, check out my story. I'll have a couple of the pictures in there of my meal prep. I do either 8 meals for the week or 15 meals for the week. 15 meals is 3 meals a day for 5 days. Or if you're someone that only eats a few times a day or just need that one solid meal for the day, I do 8 meals as well for STL Green Eats. But yes. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I've lost over 60 pounds naturally, and I'm just here to help people do the same. I'm trying to spread the word and get you guys excited for my upcoming course that will be starting in November. Now, I know, Shay, how are you doing a course early November when you know Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up? This is actually the best time for me to help you guys. I've been able to keep over 50 pounds down during the holidays for the past 5 years. And I think I've specifically been able to do this through all the holidays. I'm going to help you guys with some really awesome tips. And so I'm going to show you guys some alternatives. Ooh, I gotta get that posture together, okay? I'm gonna let you guys know some more alternatives and some really easy ways you can prevent yourself from gaining so much weight from the holidays. I didn't realize I used to gain like 10, 15 pounds after the holidays because I would stuff my face. I would get the itis. And you know when you get the itis around the holidays, right? You get that big plate. You fill it all up. You get the second plate, fill it all up. Then, yeah, I know y'all be doing this too. Get the you gotta get dessert with it, right? So I'm gonna help you guys before the holidays so it doesn't be as hard for you. But it would really help if you incorporate a lot of these tips now. Meaning, baking your meats when you eat, eating baked chicken, salmon's already baked usually. And just taking in consideration being mindful of what we're eating. Being mindful of what we're eating is going to be the ideal factor on how you're going to get through the holiday. Because who feel like there's 2 holidays coming up back to back. And you know what? Not even to mention New Year's. And what do we do New Year's? We love to drink. So not only do we have 2 major holidays coming up, not even counting Halloween. A lot of us like to eat the candy around Halloween. So, well, you know, this is for the holidays, though. Holidays, the real holidays. So I'm going to help you guys with that. So stay tuned to my upcoming course. It's going to be a 3-day thing. Person, and I'm not going to just be sitting down. I'm going to be walking with you. We're going to be talking with you. I'm going to be doing one day of those. I'm going to probably do like food demonstration, and I'm going to help you guys with that holiday extra weight type of thing. Okay, because I don't think no one's talking about how to keep your weight down during the holidays. So I'm going to help you guys with that. And feel free to ask any questions you may have about that. Also, it's not going to be live for everyone. It's only going to be for my Wellness Warriors and Wellness Club members and SEO Green Eats members as well that wants to join the, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Because not everybody's goal is weight loss. So I don't want it to just be for weight loss. I want this to be for overall wellness, you know? Because this isn't just going to be for you. This is going to be habits that even your kids are going to want to get part of. So I want this to be a whole family event. Yes. Okay, guys. So for the month of October, I plan on going live every day for at least 15 minutes. So for our Sundays this month, we're only going to be doing 30, 40 minutes, right? So I'll be taking any questions you may have. And I'm going to do a bonus tip at the end. I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. My for staying this long, I want to give you guys a bonus tip. So I always, if you haven't heard me say it before, make sure you're drinking your gallon of water a day. Typically, half your body weight in ounces. So if you're over 200 pounds, typically, you should be drinking a gallon of water a day. Now, this is the tip on how to drink your gallon of water a day, because it does intimidate a lot of people. You're like, how am I supposed to get a gallon of water a day? Because you guys see my big bottle I usually have. What I do to get through that is drinking down your water before every meal, every snack. If your snack is a bowl of fruit, drink it down, eat your food. Drink it down, eat your snack. Drink it down. By the time you go to dinner, if you're eating 5 times a day, it should be nearly gone by 9 p.m. Drink your water early as possible. Like you guys see on my bottle, usually says start at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. I start drinking my water at 6 when I wake up. Also, it's really good for your stomach to not drink cold water in the morning. If you can, drink a cup of room temperature water and then start off your day. But that is my bonus tip for the night, to make sure you are drinking your water. What I would do is drink a whole bottle of water, eat breakfast. What does that do? It tricks your stomach to making your mind think you're full. Because most of the time, we're not hungry, we're thirsty anyway. So say if you're hungry and you want to fast, right? What I do to make sure I stick to my fast, most of the time I cut off my food after 10 p.m. at least. I don't eat until 2 to 3 p.m. So sometimes to get around that, I drink water when I feel hungry. That tells my stomach, oh, I'm full, because it's full, right? Or eating fiber. Eating fiber makes you feel full, okay? Staying away from cereal definitely will help with your decrease in sugar intake. And also, I can give you all the gems at once. So those are my bonus tips for the night. I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:15 Central Standard Time, where I will be going over more ways to lose weight naturally, okay? I am Shay with your weight loss tips of the day, and I'm always here to help you lose weight naturally. And this video is brought to you today by STL Green Eats, your one-stop shop for all things wellness, and Shays Wellness Club, okay? Join the club. I have a lot of meal preps in there. I have a lot of workouts in there that I do that's helped me lose weight consistently. And also I'll be doing some workouts in our wellness session, our wellness course coming up. So thank you for joining. Don't forget, be kind, give someone a compliment this week, put God first, and keep going, okay? Love you guys. Bye.